advantage there.
We'll see. SRL is given the go-ahead. We should be starting any second now. So in terms of strategy, at this stage, now that we've separated basically the wheat from the chaff, we shouldn't see a whole lot of variance in terms of strategy and in terms of how they go about the Robot Masters. And as expected, Fatso and Llama will be starting off with Flashman, which is the most rudimentary of the 8 Robot Master stages. There are really no zips that are really going to make a huge bit of difference, and they'll get item 3 out of the deal. And Colonel gets a nice 1-up out of the deal right off the bat.
Never a good sign. It's always bad luck if the first enemy you kill gives you a 1-up. So we'll see how that bodes for Colonel.
Well, you think it's a bad omen, huh?
Oh, it's definitely a bad omen. So, not much to talk about in this stage. It's a pretty relatively straightforward stage until you actually get the flash fight, which is actually one of the more difficult boss fights in the game. During this stage, pretty much you're just trying to optimize your movements. You'll notice that they're jumping off the ledges to maximize their fall velocity. So it's really a straightforward level until you get to that fight.
Yeah. Fatso took an extra hit, so he might have to be a little more careful with Flashman, but the key with Flashman is you want to be as close as you can when you're shooting at him so you can maximize the number of hits you can get on him before he goes to Flash Stopper.
So looks like Llama hit the door at 114 and Colonel at 115, so they're within a second of each other.
Yeah.
So that's what we'd expect from this stage. There's not much variance you're going to see. Fatso just missed on the flash fight, so
yeah, he
flashed.
His shooting was not very accurate at the outset, and Fatso was very.
He got flashed a second time too. Ooh.
Yeah, flash.
I don't believe.
Yeah,
I don't believe Fatso got flashed at all, right?
No, Fatso went flashless, so that was very, very, very good by him. Llama was trying to. Looks like his movement was a little off, and he was trying to hit him from long distance, and he kept missing. And Flashman was just getting out of the range, and yeah, he got flashed twice, unfortunately.
So I expect you're going to see both of them here go heat second.
Yeah.
At this stage in the tournament.
Yeah, there were a few runners who went air second, and while it's considered safer, it's not necessarily faster. At the end of the day, it's a few seconds faster to go heat second, but it is riskier, particularly when you get to airman stage. You're going to be doing a lot of damage boosting.
Both the Yoku blocks and the fast air are extremely dangerous when done great. But I do believe overall it saves about 10 seconds. So we're going to see our first zip in the game, Fatso setting, and that saves a good chunk of time too.
Yeah, Fatso did it nicely. Llama did it well, and both of them got the fadeaway shot earlier. So both of them on point with their basic execution at this stage.
You'll notice from Colonel Fatso, he's staying at the very right edge of the Yoku blocks. The next Yoku block actually appears not based off of the time, but based off of your position. So this block will appear. So they really want to hug that right edge without going too far or jumping too quickly. That's what makes it sort of dangerous.
So now we come to Heat Man, and this is going to be a lot of bullfighter, basically, where they're going to be jumping out of the way and trying to avoid Heat Man's charge. And Fatso took a hit there. That's unfortunate because Heat does 8 damage. But it's all predicated on 30, 60, 90 frames, and Fatso taking a death. Wow. It's a good thing, boy. Yeah, you're coming back to that bad omen, man. It just burned his free life there.
And you'll notice Llama's playing a little bit more conservatively. Definitely a good idea in a race setting. Because this heat fight it's probably one of the biggest points of RNG in the game.
Yeah.
I believe difference from best pattern to worst pattern is a difference of 13 seconds. So to have to do that again is really, really costly.
Yeah.
Potentially costly.
Right. Yeah. It's like if you die, you're just hoping for nothing but 30 frame patterns. And Fatso actually got a pretty good second round with Heat, man. A lot of 30s and 60s there. But Llama holding the early lead through 2 Robot Masters.
Really, despite the death, Fatso's not far behind, considering that lead he generated after the flash fight. So that helped him out a little bit there. So it's still anybody's game.
Right, and in this first section of Airman, if execution is on point, that's gonna be a big relief to both runners. Even though they're well practiced at this, it's still extremely execution based. And Llama's going first.
It's like he's damage boosting off of these guys. Oh, and he takes.
Ooh, wow. So now Fatso with the lead.
This is a really dangerous stage. It's a dangerous strategy, this open air section. It looks like llamapals is going to take a game over here. Switching to Heat. And,
yeah.
He wants to refresh that flash in the item 1 there. Meanwhile, ColonelFatso made it through pretty cleanly, so nice work on his part.
Yeah, because he's going to need 2 extra lives to do a couple of skips later in the Clashman and Woodman stages, so you're better off at this point taking the death, especially since there's no way to do a quick kill of yourself Clashman. You'd have to go to like Metal Man or something for that.
It'll be interesting to see if he tries to turn around the bird here, because he is sort of low on health. If he does opt to do it, typically in a race setting, you may not want to turn the bird around just to, as a safety. Get health.
He should at half health. He should be okay unless he gets horrific RNG. And meanwhile, Llama did a very nice job the second time around with free air, so he's good to go there. So let's see what kind of RNG ColonelFatso gets.
He actually got a pretty good pattern there.
That's very good. So he's out at 7:04. Llama's probably about 25-30 seconds behind at this stage, but got a lot of game left to go.
Let's see if Airman is just as kind to Llama.
Yeah, he's got slightly more health than ColonelFatso did, but
yeah, he'll be in a better position. For
sure. three bad tornadoes like that one, and
that was certainly not a good pattern.
That's good.
Hey,
that's second and third tornadoes were much nicer. So he's done at 7:40. So 36 seconds between our runners at the opening leg of the match. Got a lot of game left to go, and we'll see what Fatso does here with Clashman. Is he going to go for the more challenging skip? Nope.
So you can set up the zip here either on the first screen or the second screen. Setting it up on the first screen does save about 5 seconds, but it is much more difficult.
Right. So
and now the reason Llama did this when he took the intentional game over, and Fatso did it just now. They're switching to Heat before they're intentionally killing themselves. The reason for that is if you release the fully charged Heat shot right before you die, that cancels out the game or the death animation. So it does save significant.
So it's several seconds. And so yeah, Llama setting up his Heat and got it. Very good. So both of them went for the safer strat. Fatso holding about half a stage lead at this point. Just finishing his eternal climb to Clashman stage. He got Airman's ability ready to go. Probably gonna go. What he's gonna probably do here is shoot to the left as soon as he enters, draw a Clashman over, then go for a double hit and try and get him with 2 shots. Nope. But still very good execution.
Clean fight. Yeah, he had a very clean ladder climb there, and Llama's having a pretty good one as well. There's actually exact spot. There's 4 pixels. I think it's 3 or 4 pixels that you can actually drop an item 3 and land on it at the same time, rather than have to wait and climb up to it. So that's actually a harder climb than it may look.
So we're at the halfway point of the Robot Masters. ColonelFatso getting ready to start with Quickman. Nice double hit there from Llama, getting a 2-shot kill on Clashman. So in the bracket stages, Quickman was, depending on the runner, a real bone of contention, depending on who it was, and we'll see how this goes. So far, ColonelFatso looks like he's got everything set up very nicely. Got Flashman.
That was a really clean zip setup. He placed those item 1s nice and high. He didn't have to wait for it to climb up too much. That was a really good setup.
Right, and, very nicely done. Llama, about 3 or 4 screen transitions behind, but again, still very much in the fight. So a lot of this between these 2 runners, 2 people have really put in the time. It's not the race where it's not going to be determined in the opening 8. It's going to be determined in the final 6. And Fatso gets a nice item 1 skip to lead into Quickman.
And that's a scary one there, because you can actually soft lock the game with that zip. You never want to, you want to stop the zip right before the door, or right at the door. Otherwise, at least on this stage, you can soft lock the game. In other parts, where you get close to crashing the door, you'll see that in Wily 4 and the Wily 6. You can take a death, so it's not necessarily a soft lock.
Right.
So Llama's coming up on that next.
So very clean fight from ColonelFatso. Was perfect in his clash shots. Okay, Llama.
Ooh, Llama gets the extra zip there. Very nice.
See how he does with Clashman, Quickman. I mean, perfect. ColonelFatso got the first item 1 skip in Metal Man stage. Very nicely done. He's going to skip the second one because it only saves about half a second if you execute it correctly.
Yeah, you have to execute it pretty much perfectly to save any time at all.
Yeah.
I'd say low risk, low reward, because it doesn't really.
Right. He's on his way to Metal Man, which is a pretty simple fight, so long as you stay on the left-hand side of the arena. It's item 1 skip from llamapals, so Fatso shouldn't have any trouble here.
What you want to do here is that you actually want to just hold B.
Yeah.
Just like we saw from ColonelFatso there. Llama is going for that extra little zip there. It's important. It's curious to note that both runners are actually going to. We do see some variants with these, where some people do wood before metal and then flip it. Really, they could be done interchangeably.
Yeah. In almost all the races I've seen where everybody's more or less followed the traditional route, I can't recall a single runner off the top of my head that went metal 7th and wood 6th. It's always been metal 6, wood 7.
There's a few. I believe Cool Kid actually does that route, and I'm not sure about Cypher.
I don't think I saw either runner in any of the commentaries I did. It, as a general rule, the run missed the first item 1 skip, going for the good wood skip.
You're gonna see some craziness right now. Basically, what's happening is the screen that you see is not necessarily the screen that he's on. So he's playing through the stage, basically memorizes where he is, and is setting up a zip to, as you notice, he switched to heat, so he'll be picking an intentional definitely all as well.
Do not adjust your television. What you are seeing is completely normal. So
we'll go for the flash strat rather than the dog scrolls.
yeah, Llama didn't get the skips. They had to take out the last dog. Colonel, no problem with Woodman. So again, he's still holding to staking himself to about a 30-second lead as we head to the final Robot Master here. Shouldn't be too bad. Bubble Man, the opening section is probably the hardest part. After that, it's fairly rudimentary by comparison. And thanks to that extra life, that mulligan he got for himself has allowed him to pretty much play normally. Ooh. I jinxed him, didn't I?
Yeah, you brought up the extra life. Yeah. That could be bad luck.
Well, he didn't lose that much time though.
No, he recovered really well. That was clutch. You know,
good.
A lot of people didn't lose a run there.
Nicely done by Llama with Woodman. So we have an idea on their splits in a moment. ColonelFatso setting up another item 1 skip. Slides through that part. Nicely done. So it looks like, based on my just past splits, he's probably on pace for about a 45, 17 minute open section, Robot Master section. That's pretty good.
Oh, very good. Sub 17.
And like I said, the record that I've got as far as the opening 8 is concerned, Prissy did 16:04, one of my matches that I covered. So, but sub 17 is outstanding. He does it at 16:47. Excellent job.
LlamaPal got a extra life drop, of course.
Yeah. Unfortunately it dropped in the wrong spot, so really can't go for it there. So he should be about a 17:30, 17:40, I'd say. Thereabouts.
Sorry about the stream, everybody. Bubble Man has a tendency of doing that.
Yeah. So, ColonelFatso getting ready to start the first Wily stage with some feel is the best music in the series. So enjoy.
Myself included in that.
So, Llama.
He's going to try to keep that bird there, right on the hand side of the screen. What that's going to do is he's going to despawn one of the toothpaste enemies that he just jumped over right there. So more cleanly walk through this stage. And now we'll set up our first vertical dip of the stage. Ooh, he missed it.
Yeah, he was a little late. He was a little late there. So he'll just have to make the long, slow climb. That's a few extra seconds, but hardly fatal. Llama incidentally closed out the 8 Robot Masters at 17:37.
It looks like he'll have to make this climb too. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's probably just one of those things, like, I'm just not going to bother. I'm just going to go with it. Just run through it. So, he's got the quick boomerang ready for the dragon.
Meanwhile, Llama's going to try to set up that same zip. And it looks like he's got a pretty good setup. They're a little wide apart, but that should work. Yep, he got it.
So, 1 or 2 vertical skips in Wily 1. See if he goes for the second one. But meanwhile, ColonelFatso taking on the dragon and mashes his way to an easy victory.
Good kill. You'll notice Llama and Fatso, he was halfway off the ladder. You need to be halfway off the ladder to set up that second vertical zip. Otherwise, it won't work. You won't be far enough out to trigger it.
And neither one went for the second vertical, and it's probably just a matter of going with what's safe.
I believe Llama went for it because he did show up on the half on half off that ladder there, and he barely missed it too. It was just a good catch on his part.
Yeah, he's been around the block long enough to know when it works and when it isn't, and a very clean Wily 1 boss fight for Llama, while Fatso's making his descent down the tunnels for Wily 2.
He's going to try to be shooting these leaf shields in a way that manipulate the drops to show up underneath the floor so that he doesn't have to pick them up and slow down for him. So he executed that pretty well.
Yeah, and also got the the item 1 skip very nicely with the enemies, and Llama setting up his, and excellent.
He's got it.
So ColonelFatso about to fight the flying toasters of Wily 2.
Oh, that's right. I forgot they were flying toasters now.
That's what I'm calling them. Somebody's got a better name. I'm all for it. But flying toasters for the moment.
Llama's taking some damage and picking up some drops here. So you'll notice the difference of what that manipulation of the leaf shield can do potentially.
Yeah. Also, get in your predictions for how many fishes are we going to see in Wily 3. You can maybe from 0 to 4. Get your predictions in. We got a
little tight race. I mean, we're really just one toaster fight apart.
Yeah, it's probably going to be about 45. I don't think the splits have really changed any from the end of the 8 Robot Masters. 22-12, so by my count, that's 54 seconds. So Fatso's actually expanded his lead ever so slightly, but
oh yeah, he had a much cleaner Wily 2 corridor.
Yeah. So. And an even cleaner Wily 1 boss fight, even though he missed the first vertical. So we got one fishy.
One fishy. Colonel is a very, very quick masher, so it'll be interesting to see how he does.
Ooh, you got it.
Two jumps from Fatso. Wow.
Fable 2 jump. We heard tell of such a thing, but there it is. And there's another fish. So if you guessed, I believe it was 2, you're the big winner. You get a nice shiny tuna as your prize. But now we come to Wily 4, aka Purple Hell. And this has ruined many a runner in the bracket stages.
Yep, this is the great equalizer. This is where a lot of runs come to die. There's a lot of zips, vertical zips, horizontal zips, spike rooms. You're taking a little bit of everything in this stage. Crashing the door, these little item 3 placements that we had to do in Crash Man. It's just a very dangerous stage where a lot can go wrong, and one mistake can cost you not just seconds, but minutes.
Right. So that's so far so good in Wily 4, holding the line. Good execution early on. Got vertical skip. And I think a minor horizontal one. And he's going through the spike rooms. Got one left. Very good. So now it's down to this. This is key. where he ends up in this boss room will have a large determination on his success, and got it exactly the way it should.
So normally you have exactly any crash box you need to defeat the boss, but by doing these 2 double shots here in the damage transfer, he's actually hoping to end up with 2 extra crash bombs to use on Wily Machine, which will save a significant amount of time in that fight.
Mm-hmm. And he did exactly right. He's at 20. He's through Wily 4 24:52. I might count.
Ooh, that was a low item up. Yeah, that was a low item 1 there for Llama, and he wasted an extra. So he needs to be a little careful here.
So, refights. Refights underway for ColonelFatso. Should be fairly rote. It's almost always the same order. Llama setting up item 1 again, it looks like. I mean, like what he got the first time. He's got to get this exactly right. Should be okay. As long as he lands correctly. Okay, he's fine.
He won't be able to do the Wily 6 if...
No, that's unfortunate.
And it does look like he got the second double there. So, yep. And he'll going for the damage transfer, and he got that too. Great. Meanwhile, ColonelFatso making quick work of the refights here.
Yeah. Based on my splits, Fatso after Wily 4 is about 1:17 ahead of Llama. But okay, ColonelFatso picks up the health boost. He's getting a little low there. Not in immediate danger, but just has to be a little careful. Meanwhile,
you need to be safe in the tournament when you have this kind of lead. You don't want to potentially ruin it.
And odds are he knows where Llama is compared to him, so he's probably got a pretty good handle on this. He's just finishing up the last of the Robot Master's Flash Man. He's out, and first crash bomb goes, second one goes. He's done at 27:15. Should be about on pace for about a 28:30, I'd say. Meanwhile, Llama's still going through the refights. He's at Airman, closes him out. Going on to Heatman.
So we're gonna set up the last zip of this game. This is a nice one. You don't have to A or B trigger. It just automatically starts get put into the ceiling. And now it's time to show off that mashing is his again.
Nice, very good third set. A little slow there, but closes an outstanding run by ColonelFatso. He finishes with an official SRL time of 28 minutes 20 seconds. That's excellent.
GG to Fatso, taking game 1.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, still not a pretty close race overall. You know, still within one stage. So anything can happen for this next race here. Again, one mistake by any of these players can be extremely costly. So,
and both made game 1 mistakes. ColonelFatso taking that unfortunate death to Heatman. And Llama taking the death to the Airman stage, trying to cross the chasm. You know,
game over. In fact,
yeah. So if ColonelFatso's doesn't happen, maybe he's looking at a PB, or he's looking at something really close to a PB.
Certainly sub 28. Oh, and Llama finishes up, it looks like, with roughly a 29.36. GG Llama.
Yes. SRL clocks him in at 29.47, but still, two sub 30 runners. Haven't seen enough of those thus far in the tournament. And I get used to this. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of this going forward. So yeah, GG's to ColonelFatso and llamapals for an entertaining game 1. Game 2 should be starting in the next few minutes. We're going to take a quick break. Then just get on with it. Like, in terms of...
We see another... Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just saying, hopefully we see another close race next race. This was fun to watch.
Yeah. In terms of execution, I don't think we're going to see anything really different. It's just going to come down to minimizing mistakes at this point. Fatso, like I said, had the little hiccup with Heatman, and then Llama had a weak start to Airman. Took the game over and probably cost him about 30-40 seconds, and had a little bit of trouble at the end of Wily 4. But overall, their runs were pretty comparable overall. So it would be interesting to see if Llama really, I guess, I don't think he's going to adjust anything, but maybe he'll be a little more careful with Airman, the opening to Airman. But other than that, I really don't see a whole lot to change here.
Yeah, just like you said, it'll come down to execution. Who makes the least amount of mistakes. Fatso, really good time with the 28.19. He had that Death and Heatman. He missed a Wily 1 zip. I'm sure Llama would like to clean, aside from Airman, obviously. I think, he's obviously like to clean up his Woodman fight. He didn't get that extended zip with the flash, and had to switch back to metal down the last wolf. So those are all like little things that can cost some time and could tighten the gap for him. So
it's all fairly rudimentary, and even to like the casual gamer, it's almost irrelevant. But at this stage of the tournament, now it starts to matter.
Yeah, every little thing that count.
SRL is given the go-ahead. We should be starting any second now. And Llama's already out of the box. ColonelFatso will be out in a few seconds.
They'll sync up the streams, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. So, again, we're not going to... With Mega Man, you're not going to see any variance in route. At this stage, we know more or less what to expect. You might get the odd runner. We've got Llama getting the extra life this time.
Llama gets the first kill life. Whoa. Maybe, maybe that's a good luck sign in regards to these tournament races, because it worked out.
Maybe it is, because Colonel got it on the second enemy he killed and only won the race, so the Llama took a little bit of extra damage along the way, but...
So this stage is, it does have some like slippery ice physics to it. So you'll notice when they do take damage that they do a little jump. Although they do that anyway, it's a little more important at this stage because that stops that backwards movement there, backwards pushback.
So both runners basically even early on, very clean. Flashman, ColonelFatso's got a little more health, but at this stage that probably isn't going to matter too much. We'll see how their Flashman fights go compared to Game 1.
Colonel had an excellent flash fight this time. It looks like Llama's doing much better this time as well. Yeah, he's not going to get... Ooh, this time Colonel gets flashed, and Llama does not.
Yeah. Yeah, good Llama... Play. For those of you who didn't see, Llama had a hell of a time with Flashman in Game 1. He got flashed twice.
That's right. Llama will have a little bit of a lead going into Heat here. And Fatso will be interesting to see if he goes for those for that Heat dance there, where he's you know, staying really close to Heat Man, or if he plays a little bit safer.
If he's comfortable with the strats that he was implementing in Game 1, it just didn't work out for him. I don't see any reason why he diverged at this point, because for me, it's like if you're starting to diverge from what works for you, that's only going to lead to more mental mistakes. Another extra life. Wow. This, for a game that's being played on the difficult setting, this game's being awfully generous in Game 2 with Games 1 and 2 with the extra lives. Ooh.
Is this Rockman 2 or is this Mega Man 5?
Llama missing the fadeaway. ColonelFatso gets it just fine, so they're back to even.
Looks like ColonelFatso has a slight lead. They're pretty much in sync, and they're going to set up their zips here pretty much in sync. So they both got it.
And Llama had a little trouble with this stat skip in Game 1, but gets through it just fine here. So
you'll notice Llama's taking it a little bit slower. Meanwhile, Fatso's very aggressive with the jumping on the Yogu blocks, jumping right at those right edges, right corners.
Yeah,
he gets through and he extends a little bit more of a lead there.
His understanding of how the game behaves is benefiting him here, and gives him about a 2-second lead going into Heat Man. But again, so we'll see how their strats pay off. They're about even on health. ColonelFatso going the more aggressive strats, as you said. Llama playing a little safer.
Ooh, Llama took some early damage there, despite sort of this hybrid dance that he's doing. Colonel looks like he's in good shape, though.
So, nicely done by ColonelFatso, and good job by Llama. So, about a 4 or 5 second difference. Looks like Llama might have gotten a slightly better round of Heatman charges than Fatso, but it's almost negligible at this stage. Chat's saying Heatman just wants his second hug. Well, of course he does. Robots feel love too. So Airman was really the psychic break in between the two runners in Game 1. Llama took the game over. ColonelFatso played it cleanly, and he staked himself to a 36-second lead, and he was able to grow it from there.
So you'll notice Fatso is damage boosting off these cloud enemies here. That is the safer way to do it. Meanwhile, Llama's jumping on the edges, so that is a much more dangerous strat. Although, I wonder if he's being knowing that he's behind, knowing that he's down a game, and sort of doing what it takes to win at this point.
Probably within reason. I mean, you don't want to do anything so outrageous that's going to put you behind the 8-ball early, but yeah, it's like if you're confident in your abilities and you've been kind of playing a little safe, maybe you go for something that maybe you'd only do, for example, in a speedrun, like a PB or setting.
Ooh, not behaving.
Llama's in a little trouble here. He's got to be careful with Airman. He's got to hope for a good RNG pattern. Nice, good opening pattern from ColonelFat. Oh,
not a great second pattern though.
So Fatso's done at 6:37.
Looks like Llama's getting, may have just jinxed him. He's getting some help. He has some avoidable patterns.
Okay.
Oh, he needs to be careful. Oh, great jump over Airman. That was clutch.
So 630. So
body damage.
Yeah.
Airman does a lot of body damage.
Yeah. So 637 for ColonelFatso, 650 for llamapals. So 13 seconds through 3 robot masters. As we head on now to Clashman. Both of them went for the safer strat.
The second screen setup. Likely see the same thing this time around.
Yeah. Nicely done by ColonelFatso. Llama having a little trouble. Okay.
It's going to take some intentional damage to set it up a second time.
Yeah, so, something he can ill afford at this stage, given that ColonelFatso really hasn't been making, at this point, any real execution-based errors. So he's gonna feel he's gonna have to be a little more on point with some of this stuff.
He's doing the climb, and you'll notice that he's landing right on top of the trees there. That's that placement I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Versus having to climb up to it.
It's a fairly precise trick, is it not?
Yeah, it is. I believe it's 3 or 4 pixels that you have to place those item 3s on the right spot to land on them.
Right.
I believe Mega Man climbs at... I could be wrong about this, but it's significantly slower than his, jumping or regular movement. I believe it's about 25% slower. I could be wrong about that number, though.
Fatso had a near perfect Clashman. If I got a double right off the bat, and then was able to take him out in the next shot. Llama getting started with his Clash, and even that's about as good as it gets.
And once again, he gets the double hit there.
Yeah, both of them got it. That was very impressive.
He does this little wiggle before he shoots that air. I wonder if that's a new strat there that.
I've seen other runners just shoot to the left and then pivot, turn, and just barrage Clashman with tornadoes. Yeah,
that's a common one that we're seeing now. I haven't seen that little wiggle that he did. I don't know if that was just a coincidence or what the story is, but it seemed to work twice in a row now.
Yeah. So ColonelFatso got Flash Stopper for the beam barrage. Hold them off. Should be fine the rest of the way.
Llama setting up the zip as well, and it looks like he got it. You'll notice that slight delay before they exit the ceiling there. That's because the runners are doing a quick turn left and then continuing on, zipping to the right. The reason for that's what keeps the lights on. If you continue to zip without that little hesitation, without turning left, you have to do this entire section in the dark, which can be pretty tricky. You have the laser beams, you're out of bounds for a portion of it. So not an easy thing to do. Good fight there for Colonel.
Yeah, another perfect Clashman. If I was 7 for 7 with the shots. Let's see how llamapals does. Two, 4. It got actually a quicker fight than ColonelFatso did. Quickman just jumped right into the kill zone, and Llama was more than happy to oblige there, and so excellent job by him. So we come now to the 6th Robot Master, Metal Man. ColonelFatso did the first item 1 skip perfectly, no problems there. setting up the item 2 skip. Slight wiggle. Ooh.
I wonder if that's... Ooh. Took a little extra damage there on the tin can.
Yeah, took a little extra, but it's at this stage, it's probably irrelevant.
Oh yeah, the Metal Man's not much of a threat. Just stays in his spot.
Yeah, now as long as you follow your role and you got a little too close for comfort, but no problem. Took care of him. Llama probably sitting about 20 seconds behind. About 20 seconds behind.
Anybody's race.
We'll see how Woodman goes, because mistake there, and the race could very easily flip. Start for ColonelFatso, using item 2 to sail through that opening section. So use Flash Stopper for this next part. Was able to skip 3 dogs. Looks
that
like
little zip right there is important, because you do need to get that in order for you to skip that last dog before the flash timer runs out.
Llama was not quite so successful with that in game 1. It had to take him to use the metal blades on him. He's going for a different kind of...
He's gonna go for dog scrolls here, so Llama is going for the more aggressive strat this time around.
Yeah. That's not good.
Ooh, he overzipped though. Ooh. He can't get out of this. He just needs to around.
While ColonelFatso gets the good wood skip to perfection, meanwhile Llama is in serious trouble.
Okay, he's starting the stage over again.
Easy fight for ColonelFatso. Takes care of Woodman.
If you continue left, you can actually just wrap around the screen and continue on. But unfortunately, he took the death there. He doesn't have enough heat to do a fully charged shot. So it looks like, is he taking an intentional game over?
That was my initial thought when he took a couple of hits to the dog, but then he actually used metal blades to fight back. So well, no, he must have realized, well, I've still got an extra life here.
He has a few extra lives.
He's got a few extra. So it's silly to take the intentional death. If he had 0, yeah, I'd get it. I would totally understand, but then he probably would have taken the intentional death long before he got to the dogs.
Yeah, and where you're taking the damage, it doesn't really matter, because you're gonna take that death anyway. Alright, good zip by Fatso and Bubble. I haven't seen any mistakes from Fatso yet this run. I hope I didn't jinx them. This is looking like, I mean, we're at 1550 right now.
Yeah.
At the end of Bubble Man stage, he's having an excellent.
He's looking at about a 1615, 1620.
That's really
ready
good.
To start Woodman fight, no problem. 1613 for ColonelFatso. That's outstanding. I think one of the top 3 opening Robot Master splits I've had in the tournament thus far. I'm just going through my sheet here, and yeah, 1604 from Prissy, 1626 from Tokyo. Yeah, that's outstanding. That's exceptional work.
I think he's with a second of his PB. His split just turned red. During help poured out, and that's usually when you split is at the at that time. So you know Fatso on a really good pace. You know, obviously pace at least.
He holds the line. He's probably looking at about a 27 and change. Depends on what he does here, particularly in Wily's 1, 2, and 4. As far as the skips are concerned, executing everything there. 3 with all those challenging zips, and misses the zip again. 2 in a row.
Oh. It's not an easy one to set up, you know. I think most of the attention goes to that second zip being the harder one, where it is more dangerous because you have that fall potential there that costs you a lot of time, and obviously the waste of item 1s. You know, they're both very difficult to set up. It's just that this first one is a little bit less costly.
Yeah. Llama finishes Bubble Man at 18:03, so he's almost 2 minutes behind, and almost a full stage behind, to be honest. He's at this point, he's really just hoping for a serious mistake from Fatso, and even then, that would probably only cut the deficit by half. So.
Alright, we'll get to see more of that ColonelFatso mash.
Hey, well, you can see that. The dragon didn't even get a chance to open his mouth. He just barraged him. So, yeah, they're about a full stage apart. And ColonelFatso about to start Wily 2 as Llama gets ready to start Wily 1.
Oop. It's alright.
Oh, he missed. Reset the section a little bit.
Ooh, I'm surprised he used the item 1 there. I think the intentional game over would have been a little safer.
Yeah.
He has a good lead.
I think he realized, well, I got enough. He seemed to realize he's got enough left of item 1 for the rest of this. He should be fine. He's fairly precise in his actions. Maybe he takes a refill at the start of Wily 4, but overall he should be okay.
Yeah, I would think that he would have to take a refill at either Wily 3 or Wily 4. There's a nice convenient one in Wily 3 that they could sort of fall into.
Right. So it's a very minor detour, and it's really not going to have too much of an effect on his race. Gets ready to fight the Toasters while Llama gets ready to fight the Dragon, and no fireballs I noted in either of the 2 matches thus far, because that's RNG, and the Dragon is known for shooting fireballs. Those do serious damage and blowback. And you don't have a lot of room to work with.
Really, the goal is to mash it down before he shoots the fireball. That's why you sort of start the quick boomerang throw from that middle platform, and then you immediately walk off of it. So you sort of see the dragon move towards him at the middle, and right before he's about to shoot that fire, you drop down, and then he sort of circles back down. You don't want him to shoot that fire. That can be really dangerous.
So clean item 1 skip from Llama, and ColonelFatso didn't have any problem with the Toasters. Finished with a 2056 upon clearing the boss. Get your fish predictions in, folks. 0 to 4, quick.
So it looks like you're right. He's gonna go for the one in Wily. Did not get it in.
Yeah, he admitted as much in chat. He said he was probably gonna go for the one in the item in Wily 4, and 0 fishies, so it's all going to come down to Llama. 0 to 2 at this point. How many fishies? So Llama getting ready to fight the Toasters. ColonelFatso about to fight the Wily 3 boss, probably the easiest boss in the game. He goes for the 2 jump. How disappointing. 3 jumps this time.
Still very respectable.
Oh, yeah. It's like he was, I think, slight damage boost away from doing it again. So 2235 for Llama, so he gained a little bit of time based on my Wily 2 splits, but largely irrelevant. Again, we're still basically a major mistake here, or perhaps in Wily 5. So let's see what Llama can get for fish. There's 1. Okay, 1 fish.
The second one.
So 1 fish is the winner. You get 1 bright shiny tuna as your prize. You must be very proud. So, good opening section by ColonelFatso. He's gonna take it nice and easy here. Do what you know.
See how many jump Llama gets? Jumps.
He had, I think, 4 the last time. Yeah, 4 again. Fatso setting up the main item 1 skip here in Wily 4. Yeah, both runners had it exactly right in game 1. Let's see how this goes. Good start.
You only have a few pixels to actually place that crash bomb in order for it to blow up both balls. This is very precise, and you nailed it both around. So nice job again. Really solid Wily 4.
Yeah. So Fatso is at 24:36, which is 16 seconds ahead of his Wily 1 time by my count. Llama continuing to trudge his way through. ColonelFatso gets started with the refights, leading off his Quick Man, of course. The only one you fight with the Buster. You can't very well use those crash bombs, now can you?
No, those are valuable.
Very good Clashman fight from ColonelFatso. Another 2-shotter.
Now in normal mode, Woodman only takes 1 fully, but the time it takes to fully charge a heat shot is slow, and it would take 2 on difficult mode. So the runners here, they'll use the air shooter, and it also saves a menu because you go right from that clash fight to
right. Llama did not get the ideal setup for Wily 4, but does a good backup strat. ColonelFatso takes a refill from Heatman. Llama's not going to get
the normal mode. It's easy mode.
Yeah, Llama's not going to... Okay, takes the damage transfer, clears it out at 26:23, but he's still about 2 minutes behind. Going to Wily 5, 1-2 punch from ColonelFatso on Metal Man.
By the time he teleports in, I think he'll be finishing up Flashman fight here. So
yeah,
pretty much an entire refight's behind.
Yeah.
Something really horrible would have to happen here and in Wily 6. Alright, so it looks like he's on pace for a low 28 again. Really consistent. Last race, I think it was a 28-20.
Yeah.
He should be a little bit quicker than that this time, but like within 5 seconds, it looks like.
He's 17 seconds ahead of his game 1 time, so he's looking, at about a high 27, very low 28. So, ColonelFatso is admitting the PB is dead, but well, let's hope for a sub 28, shall we? Woodman, good airman fight, I mean, from Llama. Ooh, just gonna miss the sub 28.
28:01 it looks like.
Yeah.
Really close. Really good times though. I mean,
Yeah.
the race setting to be that close to a 27.
Yeah.
That close to his PB. It's really impressive. GG Fatso. Oh.
Yeah. He finishes with an official SRL time of 28 minutes and 3 seconds. So that's outstanding. Improving by 17 seconds. And I don't know, I have to look at the maybe he's a little slower in the early parts of the Wily stages, but that's about it. There really weren't any outright mistakes in this run. It was very well done.
He missed the Wily 1 zip, and then he...
that's right, he missed the Wily 2 yep, the first time around. He had to reset.
Yeah. And the Wily 1 zip to
Right.
get the extra item 1 energy there. So,
Right.
I mean, if you think about that, he really close to a PB. I mean, that was a really good run.
Yeah, absolutely. And Llama is, if he's not going to get a sub 30, he's going to be very close.
He gets to set up the zip this time. He did the walk the last time. He's going to do his wiggles and he gets in. Good, so. Yeah, again, it's going to be close to a sub 30 here. See how well he meshes.
Good start. Oh, nicely done.
Wow. Yeah, his...
X.
In a page from Colonel's book with 29:55, it looks like.
Yeah, he closes. He finishes with an official SRL time of 29:56. But no matter how you shake it, we have 2 racers both going under 30 in a game that is not. That is. I know they make it look easy. This is not an easy game by any stretch. It is not forgiving in the slightest. One mistake and you are done.
Absolutely not. Yeah, this is really 2 really good runs by 2 really good runners. Yeah. Llama and Fatso put on a show. Unfortunately, that is the end of the tournament for Llama, but Fatso will. So thank you to both these guys for running. Definitely entertaining to watch, and congrats again to Fatso and moving on to the second round of the tournament.
Yes, and he will, as his reward, he will get to take on top-seeded Cypher in round 2.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. He showed, good consistency and good resilience, with his backup strats, and 28-20 and 28-03, nothing to sneeze at. And again, say anything can happen, and if he sticks around to that and does the execution the way he knows how, I think it could very well be one hell of a second round match, I think. see, where is it? Let's see, we got a bunch of matches coming up in the next couple of days here. On Wednesday at 11 p.m. Eastern, we have Fast at CC versus our tournament host, Sinister One. On Saturday at noon Eastern, we have Von Rufio versus Cassio Third. At 10 p.m. Eastern on the 14th, we have Dactyly versus Beef Watson 85, and Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern, it's Mazimov versus ND SWE. So, a lot of entertaining playoff matches in the next week or so.
Yeah, a lot of Mega Mans to come.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, Pro, did you fill out a bracket for this?
I did not. No. I pretty much burned up all the luck I had winning my office bracket in the NCAA, winning that outright. So,
well, congratulations on that.
Yeah, pick Villanova. That was that was about the only thing I got right. The rest of it was basically blind luck. So, but no, I did not fill out a bracket. Who did you pick?
The entire winner. I picked Cool Kid.
You picked?
I had it coming down to Cool Kid and Cypher. So.
That'll be a pretty entertaining match if it comes to that.
That's what we're hoping for.
Well, you got it. With a game like this, you probably got about, I don't know, 6 runners who could really, if they catch fire and everything's really just working for them on an execution standpoint, absolutely could run the tables and make this quite a tournament.
Exactly. We have so many good runners in this tournament that could easily, seize an opportunity and make it. I mean, you got Cypher, Cool Kid, Endy has a really good time. So obviously keeps improving and plays like this. He has a shot. Fast at CC is another one. So many good runners on this. It's going to be really fun to watch all this go down.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next set of matches. I think I've got the call for I might be doing the call for Von Rufio and Cassio Third on Saturday, but that TBD. But either way, this is going to be a lot of fun coming down the stretch here. Looking forward to seeing what happens next.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I don't know about you. It's late for me, so I think I'm going to wrap it up here. So once again, GG's to llamapals and to ColonelFatso for quite an entertaining show. Congrats to ColonelFatso for moving on to round 2, and congrats to llamapals for putting on a very good show. Close out his run in the tournament. I'm sure future tournaments he'll be even better than ever. So with that,
give these guys a follow, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Give them a follow. They've done a great job.
I mean, and to make it this far into the tournament too. I mean, there was a lot of entries in this tournament, and these guys that made it out of the group stages here, they're the best of the best.
Yeah.
They put on a good show today.
Yeah. So, well, thanks to you, sir, for joining me on this commentary tonight. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Yep.
And thank you, Speed Gaming, and all you guys for coming out and watching.
And thanks to Sinister. Thanks to Sinister for putting on this fine tournament and displaying some of the best that Mega Man 2 runners have to offer. So I think with that, I'm Pro-A007. Very happy to have commentated on this match. I'll be signing off tonight.
Yep. Handsome Jackass signing off. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks, everybody.